All right, please welcome Captain John Little and our guest co-host today, my fiance Juan. Now we're going to talk today about couples fishing trips. How appropriate.
Yes, ma'am. Perfect time of the year. And it actually just so worked out that I had a couple fish with me this week.
Nice.
Ron and Lori, all the way from Illinois. Hopefully they're going to tune in and watch. That's them right there.
Whoa, y'all caught some big ones.
We did. We had a really good trip, and Lady Luck prevailed, as always. She outfished Ron, and he was not sad about it one bit. He was very, very happy and proud of his wife. She pulled in the biggest and the most fish of the day.
All right, how many and what size?
They had their limits of trout, and then they had their limits of black drum, and then we also caught some redfish, but the redfish weren't quite size of yet.
Okay.
So they're still juvenile, so we had to release them. We couldn't keep the reds,
but enough fish to feed the family.
Oh yeah, they had so many fish coming aboard that I actually lost count a couple of times. I had to recount.
Go back and count.
The drum were really good size. They were all 8 to 10 pounds. So yeah, the fillets, after I filleted them all up, they had a ton of fish to take home to their families.
Nice.
So they're gonna have a really good fish fry.
What's the best fish to make ceviche with if you're gonna make it at home? Can you do that with these types of fish?
I would say that mahi is my favorite. Sometimes we'll go down to the Florida Keys and fish out of Marathon, Florida, and I'll actually catch them live, fillet them up, and we'll make the ceviche right there on the boat. It's amazing.
I'm surprised you haven't tried that yet by
I
yourself.
know. Well, I just wasn't sure what type of fish, because you don't just go grab random fish.
Yeah. I've made it with pretty much every fish that there is out there. I've actually made it with catfish as well.
Oh, there you go. See?
I have. I've made it from catfish from the Guadalupe River. Believe it or not, it's really, really good.
Nice.
I was kind of hesitant. I didn't know for sure, but it turned out amazing.
Maybe we can turn your fishing line into a coastal cooking segment and make ceviche one day.
I would love to. I did not get this big from not eating, I promise. So I will cook it up. I'll bring in whatever y'all want me to, and we'll make us a little cooking show out of it too.
Yeah, that would be super fun. I'm on a ceviche kick right now, so I had to bring it up.
It's
so
good.
Tell me more. One, y'all had to be freezing cold.
It was a little chilly going out, but you use layers. Whenever you go out this time of year, everybody does it, especially the wade fishermen. Whenever you're getting into that cold water, of course, you got to have layers to keep yourself warm. And whenever you get down there and it starts to warm up, you just take your layers off. Kind of like what we did whenever we fished together.
Now, we've never been on a fishing trip as a couple, but you've gone fishing before, right?
I have, yes. And I'm not a big fisherman, but I did enjoy cast sighting.
Right.
That was really fun.
Yep.
I felt like a competition, like you had to get, your bait in front of the fish for them to catch it.
We actually saw that this week. We pulled up on a big school of drum. There's about 35, 40 of them. And I told them, I said, come on guys, come up here real quick. And we took some dead shrimp and we tossed it to them. They turned their noses to it. They would not touch it.
Really?
So what we did is we put them on the bottom and they started to eat on the bottom.
Interesting.
But sight casting to them just didn't work. But it was still exciting.
Yeah, it's fun
because they were able to see it and they couldn't believe. They were like, oh my God, look how big that school is. So I said, well, that's what we're about to catch. It's going to happen. But they just, whenever they sight casted to it, it's like he was saying, and this time of year is really good for sight casting. They're going to be up in the flats. The water clears up really good for us this time of year. And top waters. You ever use the top water while you're fishing?
I don't believe I have, no.
It's like the pinnacle of fishing. It's awesome, man. That blow up is amazing. Just seeing them blow up on that top water, it's really cool. So
you got me excited.
This time of year, springtime, it's top water season. So
well,
sight casting, top water, love's in the air and underwater because the trout are actually, it's their first spawn of the year.
Okay.
So they're actually spawning right now. And that's
exactly.
Yeah, and the competition is real.
You can't hear the music, but it's down there. That's so funny. Speaking of couples and explosive, I'm sure you've had some interesting experiences with some couples because not everybody is, hunky-dory all the time.
Yeah,
What's
definitely.
the weirdest or craziest couples experience you've had fishing?
Probably the weirdest would be they didn't talk at all the entire trip. It was very, very awkward. I was the only person.
Fish can hear us.
Yeah. And I was like, hey guys, y'all want to, get a little competition going or something, And they're like, no, we're good, thanks. And it's just, it was very weird. It was just, very, very weird.
And did you just?
I just went along with it. I just fished and, I kept talking. I tried to get some conversation going between the two of them. Hey, how long y'all been married? Oh, 12 years. And they kept fishing.
Man. Somebody messed up the night before. They didn't want to cancel the trip.
It was awkward.
Yeah, I bet.
I've had a buddy, though, that really believes that, too, that you have to be silent on the water.
It helps.
You know?
It does. It helps. You don't want to slam hatches.
Right.
You don't want to slam lids.
But talking is
if you
fine.
want to talk, yeah, it's fine. Unless you're like sight casting.
Which
you
we
want
were.
to try to,
Okay.
And if
so
you're
maybe
drifting up close to them, you want to be quiet. You don't want to be,
Okay.
hey, look, there they are, you know?
Oh, wow. Well, that's why we didn't catch much when we went, even though I did the fishing call, which is
No,
so
no, y'all
weird.
did good. It was just really crowded on a Saturday.
Yeah. Well, speaking of fishing, we have some guests coming up next. Bluffs Landing is here to tell us about a boat show and expo. We're familiar with Bluffs Landing, so we'll learn more about that when we return. Look at that catch.
That's Bluffs Landing. That was their catch from this weekend.
Nice.
Or
All
this
right,
week.
guys. We'll be right back on Coastal Living.